Wow, that is badass. Hey everybody, Brooks from Jack Times here. Welcome back to the channel. That's right. I am ordering, or I have ordered that Lamborghini Revuelto. I think that's how you say it. So backstory is, back in December, I was invited to New York City to take a look at this Lamborghini. Back then it was called like the LP744, and that was its code name. So we arrived in New York City. They took away all of our devices, no phones, no watches, no cameras. They frisked you. You had to lock everything in a locker to go see the car. They made you sign NDAs so you couldn't disclose anything about the drivetrain. But at that showing in New York City, they went over everything. So I've just seen in a couple of videos, don't need to go over all the specs, but key points are V12, normally aspirated, all new engine, 6.5 liter, revs to 9,500 RPM. It's got 3 electric motors. It's got an 8-speed DCT. It's got the electric battery, 2 motors in front, these axial flux motors, which are super light motors that sit right behind the wheels. So all in all, complete power, over 1,000 horsepower. And I am super excited that I actually ordered this car while in New York City. So after they presented the car in New York and went over all the kind of details, they came up and said, well, you know, you were one of 200 people to see the car first in New York City. And if you want, you can order it now with a catch. So the catch was, because I guess they wanted to streamline production of the first 200 cars, you had to pick from 9 preset configurations. And along with those 9 preset configurations, you could make 0 changes, none. So if you didn't like the wheels, tough. If you didn't like the interior, tough. If you didn't like this one had carbon or that one didn't, or this one had Alcantara inside and that one didn't, no changes. So it made it pretty easy for me because some of the interior combinations are a little weird. Some had brown leather interior, some were kind of darker exterior, so like the black and the matte gray were out for me, and some had white interiors, so the purple had a white interior, that was out for me, and there was a couple other combinations that just didn't make sense. So when it came down to, for me, was between the orange and the yellow. Now, in considering between the orange and the yellow, the orange had the carbon fiber package, and they didn't actually disclose any prices. So I still today, I don't think they disclosed the price, so we have no idea. That did kind of lead to that the carbon fiber package, the orange, could run upwards of $100,000. So that kind of, you know, for my spec, what I do with my spec cars, I don't go crazy on the specs. I just want the car and its performance and everything like that. So I said, well, what about the yellow one? The yellow one did not have the carbon fiber exterior package, and it had a nice kind of Alcantara and yellow interior, and it had diamond cut wheels. So that's kind of like my spec things that I go for, like, you know, on the 765, on my Huracan there, even on the Ford GT and the SF90, I like the brighter wheels. So diamond cut wheels with the yellow, and it's just called Giallo. So I don't even know if it's a totally, I think it's a new yellow, but it's not like the Midas yellow, it's not the pearl yellow, it's kind of a flat yellow. All I got to see was kind of a sample of it. The demo car that we saw was actually the orange that you see in the debut and all these videos of the car going around. And of all of my group that was out there viewing the car, I think I was the only one to pick yellow. So maybe yellow's not that popular, and it'll be more unique when this car comes out. There was some pictures of the cars rolling down the assembly line, and yellow was there, and man, it looked really, really good. Some cool features that I love about the car are, first, the V12, and it's actually exposed in the back. So if you look at some of the pictures, it's exposed, the top of the engine is exposed, the elements, kind of like a Bugatti. So you get to actually see the top of the engine. There's no glass over it or anything, so that's super, super cool. Obviously, doors going up, the V12, the all-wheel drive, the hybrid, and the DCT, all adds up to a crazy, crazy car that basically checks all the check marks that you want in a car. I think the only drawback, and you know, when you go over kind of how they built the car, you check out Shmi's video, it's a lot of carbon fiber, but it is still pretty heavy because of that V12 engine. So of course, the direct comparison is going to be my Ferrari SF90 Stradale, and this car is actually pretty heavy. I weighed this car, and it's got a V8 twin turbo, and this car weighed in at 3,900 pounds. So I'm imagining that the Revuelto will be a couple pounds heavier, putting it over 4,000 pounds, of course, with 1,000 horsepower It's a little more powerful than the SF90, but not much. Pretty much the same. So it's going to be an interesting race. Everyone's asking me, what do you think it's going to run? I'm definitely putting at mid-9s in the quarter mile, and it's probably neck and neck with the Ferrari. Now, I personally think the design looks great. It's got flying buttresses in the back. It's got the exposed V12 engine, all-wheel drive, DCT, naturally aspirated. It kind of checks everything that you'd want in a supercar. And this thing's going to be super fast. 0 to 60, they say, is like 2.5 seconds, but they say the Ferrari SF90 to 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. I personally got this car down to 2.1 seconds, and some people have gotten a little quicker. So with some good tires, great weather, I mean, I think the Revuelto is going to go low 2 seconds, 0 to 60. It's going to sound incredible. Mid-9s in the quarter mile, 1,000 horsepower, and who knows what's possible with this car. Straight pipes and exhaust, of course. Everyone does that on the V12s. I'm sure that's going to be done with this. And, you know, I don't modify a lot on my cars, but I think if I get my first V12, which will be this car, I can definitely see me doing some exhaust work to it. Now, they are saying that deliveries are going to start the end of this year for those first 200 cars, and they're all coming to the United States. So I believe I'm in that group. I went up to New York City. It's all spec'd out, signed the paperwork, got my deposit in months ago. And Lamborghini is actually saying that they are sold out for the first 2 years of production. So this car is going to be super, super sought after. And I actually have a Huracan Technica coming by the end of the year too. So I got to let go of the Huracan Evo pretty quickly. And if the Technica comes in first, that might be short-lived, while the Revuelto comes in later this year, maybe beginning of next year. So depending on timing, if the Huracan goes and the Technica goes and the Revuelto comes in, I still might have the SF90, but I also have some Ferraris in order too. I have both 296 GTB and GTS coming, as well as the Pro Sangue. So obviously you can see that I got no more room in the garage. I also have the Z06 coming, Cybertruck if that ever comes. And so we definitely got to move some cars. So probably SF90's got to go, and the Huracan Evo to make room for everything we got coming. So there you go, yellow it is for my spec. It's got yellow and black interior, no carbon on the outside, and diamond cut wheels. I'm hoping I can get that PDF of my design so I can kind of see it, because you couldn't bring any materials back with you from the New York viewing a few months ago. So I'm having trouble remembering exactly what it looks like, but I know the base is diamond cut wheels, no carbon fiber, and the yellow, which to me looks pretty amazing. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the yellow and how it's going to compare against the SF90. I can't wait to get them heads up in racing. I can't wait to get my first V12 supercar along with the DCT. It's going to drive great. It's got the electric mode as well. I hear the range is anywhere between 6 and 10 miles driving an electric only, which obviously isn't a lot, but it's enough to get around. And yeah, I can't wait to see the real car in person and get some real seat time with it. Maybe that'll happen in the next few months before the actual release to customers later on this year. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up. Helps the video and the channel. And I will keep you posted of the Revuelto coming to the channel. Thanks for watching.